So I have previously worked with Verena in a different organisation. She came along to a couple of the Women's Day networks that I organised. We also had some fellows at King's who had been through the programme. So I knew the value that people would get out of it. For me, whilst I know that obviously it's an open programme for men and for women, for me, it felt like it was a really important thing to be able to offer it specifically to women. In King's, we've got nearly 75% of our organisation are female. Often in our staff surveys as well, women can be lower in terms of satisfaction rates. And because it's a particular passion of mine in ensuring women have that kind of particular focus on something that's aimed and helpful to them, and with women obviously being more likely the lead caregiver in families, having that option of something that ties in the priority of work, but also the huge priority of having children, and the fact that one shouldn't negate the other. So the fact that this isn't just a development course for women, it's a development course specifically targeted at women with children, so that it's not something that they need to pretend that they don't have. It's not something that needs to be kind of swept under the carpet to make them a good leader. It's showing that actually having children can really enhance being a leader. So that kind of focus I just thought was really special and something that isn't generally on the market. So it hugely appealed. And thankfully, working in an organisation that also supported that with Nate, my manager, and obviously Julie, who is the site chief exec for Denmark Hill and does mentor other people on the programme, just meant that there was a real positive focus for it. At the moment, King's is going through a little bit of change over the last year. So the Learning and Organisational Development team is largely new, certainly the senior structure is. During the pandemic, unfortunately, there was a lack of focus given to learning. And when I joined the organisation, along with the other members of the senior management team in Learning and OD, we really wanted to put back that focus on learning within King's. And so we felt this time round it was just important to say, we believe in you, we want to give this to you. This is something that hopefully can bring people from King's together. We can prove to them how much we want to invest in them. And we just thought, because it's been a long time since anything like this was offered, we wanted them to not get lost potentially amongst other organisations and just build those really strong links in King's that have maybe been lost during the pandemic. So we just wanted to bring back and have a renewed focus on learning within King's. And so that's kind of why it was important to keep it closed this time around. Potentially the lack of opportunity that has been out there for people in general, but particularly for women to be able to take the time to develop themselves. So the difference with the LeadersPlus is that obviously things are not always scheduled between 9 a.m. and 1 a.m. And if you can't attend, not 1 a.m., 1 p.m. And if you can't attend at those set hours, then you just can't go on the programme. And obviously people with caring responsibilities, sometimes things it don't fit into that very, very neat box. So the fact that you can pick up a little bit later, you can rewatch, you can be very flexible with this learning. I think it was just a really good opportunity for us to be able to offer that kind of flexible learning. With some of our new learner management system that we're using, we also have things that people can log into at any time of the day and do learning. So this just kind of really fit quite well with how we want to continue to deliver learning. From a selfish point of view, in terms of being in the learning and development team, I would like to see a shift in how people view learning and their own development. I think it's been very directive previously. So people have gone into their one-to-ones, gone into their appraisal, and have very much been led by what their manager thinks they should do. and what their manager thinks is best for the team. Whereas for this, it's very self-directed. So whilst, there is the sign-off from managers needed, and that's really important because there is services to run, I think that hopefully if we can get a bit of a mindset shift so that people are a lot more self-directed with their learning, a lot more willing to commit to their own development. And this is just a first step in that. And so I hope that's a bit of a change that comes out of it. Obviously, that's something that's very peculiar to my world in terms of being involved in learning. So I hope that also each of the fellows that go along get something really important out of it and take it back in terms of whether it's confidence, whether it's just new life skills that they can then implement within their careers. So essentially, I feel that it really aligns with our bold strategy. So within that, there's 4 really important strands that I think fits really well. So first of all, brilliant people. So obviously, because we want to live in a we are always learning organisation, and obviously the more learning that we do, the better that we become, and the more brilliant our people become. So I think that really fits very, very nicely with the B section. Secondly, the L section, which is leaders in research, innovation and education. So we want to make sure that we can offer the best that there is in terms of learning and in terms of education. And obviously then once those people have got that information, have that learning, have that education, then they will become better leaders. And then that kind of feeds back into the O of bold, which is outstanding care. And the more that we invest in our people, the more we give them opportunities, then obviously that immediately translates to the patients and the care that is given. So it does all fit in really, really nicely. And then finally, what's lovely about this programme as well, fitting in with the D part of our bold vision, is diversity and quality inclusion being in the heart of everything that we do. And so, we have managed to open this programme up. It's got a really diverse cohort, and that's just brilliant to see that we're able to offer it to so many people. There wasn't any concerns about offering the fellowship. The one concern that I had, and this is a concern that I still went ahead with anyway, was the fact that we decided to offer it just for women, because I am absolutely acutely aware of how important men are in terms of childcare. So it's not to say that they're completely forgotten and have been left out of this. And so it was something as we've said with the bold vision, diversity is everything. And so it's, something that everybody needs to have the option to do. I think it's just on the first time around, we just really wanted to focus on women, given that we are such a huge part of King's. But going forward, I think that we will open it up more, because obviously the programme will benefit everybody. Just the fact of how much interest there was, because it's such a busy organisation, because we are one of the busiest teaching hospitals in the country. I always worry about how much time people have and people are able to give to their own development and to the opportunities that are out there for learning. It's been a really long process in terms of building up our learning offer and making sure that we've got it to be as flexible and open and as many options as possible. So I think just the fact that we had so many applications, the fact that we were oversubscribed, is brilliant. And I think that's really starting to be a bit of a mindset shift. And so if then on the back of this, people can come away from it with actually something tangible that they can then implement within their own departments, and then we can shout about it, because I think that's what's really important, is that we can all over social media, all over the intranet, just be able to say, look at what our staff can now do on the back of this programme, and just look at what believing in yourself, believing in your own development, and look at what you can accomplish on the back of that. So that's kind of just the fact that people really wanted to be on the programme is already a bit of a change.